Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Breaking news for you right now. A Fargo man accused of pointing a gun at a Fargo police officer's head earlier this month has now been federally indicted.
38-year-old Sean Ray Larkin is federally charged with theft, simple assault on a police officer, and possession of a firearm. Court records show that Larkin's theft charge stems from Wisconsin in September of 2001. While his other two charges stem from incidents in North Dakota, including allegedly assaulting an officer in Ward County in May of 2012 and felony in possession of a Smith & Wesson firearm in February 2013.
A march is underway right now to show support for local law enforcement. It is similar to other events held across the country.
Valley News Team's Devin Fry is live in Moorhead. Devin, what's going on right now and where are you at?
Mike, we're at the Veterans Memorial Bridge over the Red River. You can see that the supporters behind me right now, they've gathered on this bridge. They initially met at Moorhead Center Mall, but marched over here just about half an hour ago. So it started at the mall at about 5. It's now gotten here to the bridge. You can see a good number of supporters here with flags and signs indicating their support for local law enforcement. A lot of the people driving by have been honking along with the cause. There's also some members of law enforcement in with the crowd as well. We know that sheriffs Jesse Johnner and Mark Empting were both being involved in this rally today. So people here in the FM area showing support for their local police officers. Now, this is supposed to be going on around 7. We'll see how much longer they're up here on the Red River Bridge. We're going to have more on this tonight, so stay tuned to Valley News Live. But for right now, from Moorhead, Devin Fry, Valley News Live.
A few clouds in the sky right now over much of the valley. The good news is we are on the road to warmer temps, but it's going to take a little time to get there. Let's find out what we can expect for tonight. Hutch is here with that. Hutch?
Well, blue skies up north. You're looking at the Devil's Lake area, but the rest of us have a fair amount of cloud cover over us at this time. It's cool in northern Minnesota. Take a look at the greens, representative of 50s. 60s are in yellow, and that's where most of us here in the Southern Valley find ourselves. The green you see on the radar is sprinkles, and most of this not actually making its way down to the ground. I'm expecting freezing temperatures, a freeze warning in effect for northern Minnesota from Kittson County all the way south through Beltrami County, where Bemidji, you too will have to make sure you're taking care of those plants outside. And if you're in Roseau County, some 20s could be in store for you. So maybe even disconnect those garden hoses up in the far north. Temperatures this evening in Fargo will slip down into the 40s by bedtime. It's going to be a pleasant evening. Just take that jacket with you if you have any outdoor plans this evening, because once the sun sets, it won't take long to have that crisp feel to the air. I'll have details on that warming trend, and we'll talk about 70s and maybe, just maybe, 80s. Details in a little bit.
Like the sound of that. Thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
It was standing room only this afternoon in the West Fargo's public school district laid out its grievances against proposed special assessments from the town of Horace. New schools are going up, and the conflict is over the price tag for nearby new roads. Valley News Team Joshua Pogaro spoke to both sides, and here's what's at stake when it comes to your pocketbook.
There's an old saying that goes, there are two certain things in life, death and taxes. A decision over in Horace could determine how much Cass County residents will have to fork over. The West Fargo School District was in Horace Thursday protesting an assessment for 3 of its buildings that it's calling unfair.
You know, you should really send this back to the drawing board, and let's continue to have some conversation just to make sure that everyone shoulders the weight of these taxes.
The district says it's having to shoulder the burden for the cost of construction in the area. It's being assessed at 150% of the standard assessment rate, a cost the district says it will have to pass on to taxpayers.
Horace, West Fargo, portions of Fargo, Harwood, Riley's Acres, anyone who sends a student to West Fargo Public Schools inside our district boundaries does have to pay a portion of our special assessment costs.
But the city of Horace is pushing back. City Administrator Brenton Holper says West Fargo decided to build its middle and high schools in a very undeveloped area.
The 150% came from roads being built to accommodate their traffic flows, the demands of what they would have on those roads, buses, for example.
A lot of work reportedly went into paving roads and creating a roundabout on 17th. Holper added that the cost should not have come as a surprise.
They are agreeable to the assessment in previous interactions, meetings with them, recognizing that they're the primary driver for a lot of these infrastructure improvements.
Holper says West Fargo was the main driver for this project and has to pay up. In Horace, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Part of the building that was assessed was the new high school in Horace, which should be open next fall. As for today's meeting, no decision was made. It was simply to hear disputes on the proposed taxes.
Fargo leaders will be asked to consider a city mandate for face masks. Commissioner John Strand has placed the matter on next week's commission agenda. It calls for a policy that would be similar to New York and would not include civil or criminal penalties. In New York, anyone who is in public must cover their nose and face with a mask or cloth covering when they're unable to maintain social distance. Anyone who is medically unable to cover their face is exempt. Look for more on this story tonight on Valley News Live at 10.
Today's COVID-19 numbers in North Dakota show 394 new cases, along with 5 more deaths. The overall death toll now stands at 182. Minnesota is reporting 931 new cases of COVID-19, along with 9 new deaths linked to the illness. More than 1,900 people have died in Minnesota.
A woman is finally home after her battle with COVID-19. In May, we spoke exclusively with a family of 65-year-old Karen Haroldson. Her family told us that she caught the coronavirus while staying at the Moorhead Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center to recover from hip replacement surgery. She spent nearly 5 months in the hospital and was brought back to life once after she died. Haroldson will be staying at Bethany Retirement Living, and her family says they feel blessed that she has recovered.
Have you seen this man? Authorities in Otter Tail County say 44-year-old Joshua Sundblad was reported missing yesterday from Earhart. If you have any information on his whereabouts, call the number on the bottom of your screen right now, 218-998-8555.
The Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office is notifying the public of a high-risk sex offender living in the area. Cameron Henry Zahn is living at 2463 17th Street Northeast in Manville, North Dakota. Zahn was convicted in February of 2015 of a crime that took place in Morton County, North Dakota. High-risk sex offenders are considered the most likely to reoffend.
A man accused of murdering another man in North Fargo will be going on trial next March. Darrell Peterson is charged with murder in the killing of 64-year-old Dwayne Darling. It happened in November 2019 at the Pioneer Manor Apartments. Documents say officers found items with blood on them. Peterson's trial is scheduled for March 3rd through the 10th of 2021.
A Fargo man is facing federal charges accused of trying to derail a train near Castleton. Skylar Goodman is charged with violence against a railroad carrier. Authorities say he tried to derail a BNSF train on May 7th. Authorities say no one was severely hurt in that train incident. Goodman is also facing felony charges for allegedly pointing a gun at his ex-girlfriend and throwing her to the ground. Goodman has pleaded not guilty.
A man is charged with DUI following a rollover accident. Authorities say it happened last night near Kindred when Scott Heath lost control of his vehicle and it rolled into a ditch. He and a passenger were taken to the hospital and treated for their injuries. Both men were wearing seatbelts.
A man is in jail for crashing into a vehicle and then running away. Police say the crash happened yesterday along the 1600 block of 9th Street East in West Fargo. The suspect ran, but a police canine found him near a garage. We're told the driver of the vehicle that was rear-ended suffered minor neck pain. Cody Haller was arrested for fleeing from the scene of an injury accident and possessing drugs. Court records show Haller had active warrants for his arrest.
Sad news for local ice cream lovers. Which business is closing earlier than planned and why? Later on Valley News Live at 6.
A sweet view this hour in the Devil's Lake Basin as skies begin to clear there. That means another cold night in store. But Hutch has details on some warmer weather right around the corner. I'll tell you how big that corner is right after this.